up, Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter hold a 20th anniversary celebration at the local Jing Si Hall. Once a crime boss in Taiwan, Pastor Zeng Renjie shares how he turned his life around. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. 2014 marks the 20th year the establishment of the Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter. What originally started as a means to safeguard local residents' health has expanded into aid distributions for disaster victims, educational support for the poor, and loving friendship with the less fortunate. To recruit more bodhisattvas, Tzu Chi volunteers held a celebration honoring the occasion in Quezon City. Marks the start of the 20th anniversary celebration of the Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter.
Supporter and volunteer for being with us all this year. 20 years is a big year for Tzu Chi.
A skit starring local volunteers and a fashion show by the students of the livelihood training program has the audience glued to their seats. On stage, former conjoined twins Leah and Rachel Awal hold a model of a Tzu Chi prefab housing unit. The model represents the 100,000 Filipino pesos 100 scholarship students saved to help build one prefab unit for Typhoon Haiyan survivors.
Master Zeng said those who need help turn their palms up, while those who assist others turn their palms down.
Masaya po ako na nakatulong po ako.
Watching the performances really moved me to tears. I really have nothing more to say about Tzu Chi except that I hope they can continue to bring love into this world.
In the future, there will only be more responsibilities for the Filipino Tzu Chi volunteers to shoulder and infinite instances of love to pass on. Meanwhile, at the same celebration, bamboo coin banks are coming home. To celebrate Tzu Chi's 20th anniversary in the Philippines, Quezon City's Tatalang volunteers have been making glutinous cakes for all to enjoy since 4 a.m.
We have to put all our love into each cake.
A group of college students from Manila tear up as they walk through the high-end photo exhibits.
It's very traumatic for them. So at least we have 6 months to train them again to be a whole person. No, at least makita mo na they are still useful as a human being.
The day before the event, over 100 local volunteers from Marikina City arrived in Quezon City to help tidy up the Jing Si Hall.
I am very glad I can be a volunteer because Tzu Chi has helped so many people. I want to seize the chance to plant seeds of compassion into the hearts of others too.
Wiping the dust off every step and every corner, volunteers clean from inside to out. Seeing the effort local volunteers put into making sure the Jing Si Hall is spick and span for the anniversary celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers are touched beyond measure at this wonderful gift of time and effort. More news related to the Philippines. Volunteers from Tacloban City recently visited Hualien's Jing Si abode, where they shared with Master Zeng their efforts and progress following Typhoon Haiyan last year.
Carefully examining every branch and leaf is Tacloban City Bakake Barhead Robert Ye, who originally raised chickens and pigs for a living. Following Typhoon Haiyan, however, he had a change of heart. He not only went vegetarian, but decided to grow vegetables instead.
I think I will increase the size of my fields. Seeing the gardens in Jing Si abode, I want to learn more. Not only to improve myself, but I can also teach others to also raise crops instead of livestock.
After a year of training, volunteers from Tacloban City have finally been able to visit their spiritual home. To Master Zeng Renjie, they expressed the miracle of transformation they saw in Tacloban thanks to Tzu Chi.
Facing the devastation of the typhoon, if not for the help of the Tzu Chi volunteers, we would have been left entirely without hope. They brought us care and love and helped us begin to rebuild. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone for that.
For close to 1 year, Philippines Tzu Chi volunteers could be seen on the front lines offering aid, as well as bringing more residents onto the Bodhisattva path.
因都爱底下爱有忍，爱有迄个堪得忍耐的力量，爱有真大的慈悲心，爱有真强力的智慧，爱有智慧，爱有慈悲，爱有忍耐力，抑个都爱精进。伫迄个所在呢，有进无退啦，这就是人间的菩萨。
In the months ahead, these bodhisattvas will continue to remove hardship and sow the seeds of goodness in countless hearts, thus bringing the teachings of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings to life.
As it is currently monsoon season in Malaysia, days of torrential rain have led to flooding in many areas in Kedah. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly mobilized to deliver daily necessities and emergency cash to families affected by the disaster.
Driving an SUV through the disaster zone, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers are here at Payanomai village, Kedah, to visit more than 47 flood-affected families.
It was raining hard when we came yesterday, so we couldn't get into the disaster zone. We went to a temporary shelter to hand out daily necessities to those affected by the flood.
Despite the fact that floodwaters have yet to fully recede, the next day Tzu Chi volunteers returned to the area to deliver emergency cash.
Dalam kakak mana? Oh, hampir masuk tingkat tu.
After making sure it was safe to travel, the volunteers made it a point to visit residents door to door.
I'm extremely touched because I know there are people who care about us. What we need the most right now is not financial aid, but emotional support.
Thanks to volunteers' timely assistance, these flood survivors are now more at ease as they know that they won't have to face this disaster alone.
In Fujian Province, China, Tzu Chi volunteers recently traveled to Zhangzhou City to help Cai Haibing clean up his cluttered home. As Cai has to single-handedly look after his 2 children and work, he couldn't keep up with the household chores. Thankfully, with the assistance of Tzu Chi volunteers and his neighbors, the messy home was cleaned in no time.
A house surrounded by old tires and filled with dirty dishes is where car repairman Cai Haibing and his 2 children call home.
After Mr. Tsai's mother passed away, his wife and father also passed away one after the other. Now Tsai lives with his 5-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. There is a bad smell coming from the messy home.
I don't have the time to clean up. I do clean the house on a regular basis, but it's impossible for me to clean up everything.
Knowing that Cai Haibing has to single-handedly take care of his children, 21 Tzu Chi volunteers in Fujian Province happily lend a hand to help tidy up this cluttered home. Seeing the volunteers' selfless gestures, many locals also rolled up their sleeves to contribute.
Everyone is here to help with a sincere heart. All of us are very happy to have this chance to help our neighbors.
Everyone is here to contribute their strength. Many hands make light work, right? So many people are here today to tidy up this family's home. I feel so much at ease seeing this house clean and tidy once again.
The volunteers also remind Tsai to keep the house clean in the future.
If your house is dirty and messy, those who will bring you good fortune will not want to come into your home.
It is okay if we live in hardship, right? However, you must provide a healthy and clean environment for your children to live in.
I'm extremely grateful to the Tzu Chi volunteers and my neighbors for cleaning up my home. When I'm better off, I will definitely give back to society and become a volunteer.
Tzu Chi volunteers also gifted the Tsai family with new mattresses and bed sheets so the family can have a good night's sleep starting from today.
In Taiwan recently, Tzu Chi volunteers of Taichung headed to 2 nursing homes in the Qingshui district, bringing various activities for seniors to enjoy. Among the entertainers were also students who displayed their musical talents. The seniors at the 2 homes were glad to see their guests, while the volunteers and children were happy to have spent the day off doing something meaningful. Here in Qingshui, Taichung, folk singer Zhu Wenxiang breaks the ice by singing a few songs. Next, high school student Liao Yijun entertains the nursing home seniors with the song The Moon Is You.
I just pretended they are my grandparents. That way, I wouldn't be as nervous performing, and perhaps I would be able to move them with my voice.
Visiting these seniors, Liao remembers the good times she had with her grandmother before she passed away. On this day, Tzu Chi volunteers are warming the hearts of seniors here at the Yongqi nursing home.
I am really thankful for the Tzu Chi volunteers' visit. They always bring such heartwarming activities to enjoy.
The volunteers have given up their own free time to spend some time with the seniors.
Later, the visit to Renhui nursing home is much the same. Singer Zhu Wenxiang fills the hall with classic Chinese songs, followed by a youngster playing the violin.
Seeing the Tzu Chi volunteers uplifts our spirit and helps keeps us healthy.
Thank you for coming to visit us and taking care of these elderly. Thank you for giving them spiritual support.
I see these seniors like they are my own parents and enjoy each visit.
Having a great time with the seniors in the 2 nursing homes, Tzu Chi volunteers make sure each elderly feels the infinite love the world has to offer. A crime boss turned a pastor. That seems like a movie script, but it is the real-life story of Zeng Renjie of Taiwan. Zeng became addicted to drugs in school and eventually became a gangster. It wasn't until he took the Lord into his heart that his life began to change for the better. He now happily shares his story as he wants everyone to always have the courage to better themselves.
会不会来？
As we go through our lives, because of our devotion to the Lord, in His grace, we receive wisdom and intelligence.
Once a crime boss who carried a gun or knife, Zeng Renjie is now a pastor who carries the Bible. Zeng became addicted to drugs in middle school and frequented jail often. His father, who had him at 50 years old, was heartbroken, but then the Lord came into Zeng's life.
You are surrounded by troubles all around you. There is no way out, but somehow you know that God is with you and is lending you His strength.
Zeng overcame his addictions and became a pastor. He now visits prison often to share his transformation with other inmates.
Every setback, every failure is an opportunity for you to start over.
Having experienced what he went through, his life is now completely different. So he hopes to be able to bring the same transformation to others.
Zeng's father passed on long ago, so now Zeng also frequents senior homes to keep the residents company, as if caring for his own dad.
When I visit these seniors who have trouble moving about and need looking after, I'm very happy. They will smile at you and cheer you on.
After making numerous wrong choices in life and having paid the price, Zeng is hoping to prove that anyone can start over and will continue to work to inspire others with his story.
knowing that words of wisdom can change a person's life and doing his part to help. The Deputy Managing Director of Apple Vacation Corporation in Malaysia, Dato Sri Xu Yuxing, decided to give Tzu Chi the permission to display Jing Si aphorisms on a commercial LED billboard, free of charge.
This is Bukit Bintang, a well-known shopping and entertainment district of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Walking through the bustling streets, one can see a large LED billboard that displays Jing Si aphorisms. The sponsor is Apple Vacation Corporation.
I was truly amazed when I heard the news. I thought who would willingly give us the chance to promote Jing Si aphorisms on such a big LED billboard. I said to myself, I have to meet this person.
Apple Vacation Corporation Deputy Managing Director Dato Sri Xu Yuxing says he first heard of Jing Si aphorisms after meeting local Tzu Chi volunteers.
First of all, we all know that Tzu Chi Foundation has done so much in Malaysia. The Jing Si aphorisms can really inspire a person to change for the better. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if we could promote these words of wisdom to members of the public by displaying them on an LED billboard?
According to statistics, this district sees 1 million people pass through it on a monthly basis. As more light rail lines pass through this area in the near future, the Jing Si aphorisms will catch even more attention.
We're constantly under a lot of pressure, whether it is from work or life. The Jing Si aphorisms on the LED billboard can inspire us to change our behavior for the better.
It is hoped that Master Zheng Yan's words of wisdom can bring a sense of calmness and compassion to an otherwise busy district.
Staying in Malaysia, where Tzu Chi and team of volunteers recently held a free community health checkup in Pontian district. The volunteers found many suffering from chronic lifestyle diseases. Therefore, the clinic turned out to be as much about education as it was about treatment.
Team of volunteers are here in Pontian to offer free health checkups for residents. What they saw, however, worried them.
之前有健检过吗？有。距离这一次是应该有1年了。
你们平时这里没有去医院 check 吗？肚子没有啦，没有至今那里 check。
真少人唔捌去 check 啦。
Only going to see a doctor as a last resort, and with local medical resources scarce, residents often only have a limited understanding on the state of their health.
What is the problem?
Her blood pressure is on the high side, so I asked her to go to the nearest clinic to monitor it for 3 days. If it continues to be high, she will need medication.
So if noted it's been high, they'll start the medication.
Some patients have high blood pressure, others high cholesterol. Doctors help to measure blood sugar and blood pressure and teach residents how to take care of themselves in the future.
The doctor said that my cholesterol was too high. I need to exercise more. I think the health checks today were really good and convenient for us to attend.
They have maybe they're afraid with the doctor, or they're afraid with the nurse, or they don't like the setting that we are having at the clinic. So sometimes with a slight different setting like this, maybe it will encourage them to come.
At the end of the day, the message of the clinic was to eat healthy, get sufficient exercise, and see a doctor for regular health checkups.
Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia organized a media volunteer training seminar at the Pantai Indah Kaput Jing Si Hall, where senior media volunteers and guest speakers from Taiwan passed on their knowledge and experience to participants.
Waiting for the right moment before clicking the shutter, 105 media volunteers are gathered at the Pantai Indah Kaput Jing Si Hall in Jakarta to exchange ideas and stories. Media volunteers from 5 cities across Indonesia set aside time to attend the training seminar to learn different writing and filming techniques.
We are a multimedia team and we work closely with DaAi TV. We hope each media volunteer can demonstrate well-rounded skill in documenting, filming, and photography.
A presentation conducted by a guest speaker from Taiwan allowed trainees to put what they have learned into practice.
The presentations delivered by the guest speakers from Taiwan were really invaluable. Whether the presentation was sufficient or not is really dependent on how much each of the trainees absorbed.
Bearing witness to our times, these media volunteers hope to be Master Zheng Yin's eyes and ears abroad, documenting Tzu Chi's truth, goodness, and beauty for the world to see.
Starting this past March, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jakarta, Indonesia began holding monthly recycling day at the Central Metro housing community. At first, residents had no idea what the volunteers were doing, nor did they know much about environmental conservation. But thanks to the volunteers' hard work, the number of participants has grown steadily.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers are at the Central Metro housing community, holding their monthly environmental day.
At first, we ran into obstacles trying to promote environmental conservation here, which was bound to happen as residents had no idea what we were doing or even heard of the concept.
The month event first began this past March, and slowly the volunteers were able to get through to residents, dispelling suspicion and doubt. Now, mothers lead their children in helping sort the recyclables.
Our family has decreased our use of plastic goods, and our children are used reusable eating utensils and lunchboxes. Their chopsticks and spoons can be reused.
Nami, who works as a janitor, was once a fire victim who received Tzu Chi's aid. Now she is reciprocating.
I cannot help others by any other way, so I'm here to do what I can.
With each passing month, the number of participants grows. Slowly but surely, this community is changing for the better.
The Sarah Care Wellness Center in Xuhui District, Shanghai, cares for children who suffer from cerebral palsy. At the center's 11th anniversary celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers were honored with a plaque of thanks for their friendship from the past 6 years. The Sarah Care Wellness Center in Xuhui District, Shanghai, cares for children who suffer from cerebral palsy. During the center's 11th anniversary celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers were honored with a plaque of thanks for their years of support.
In the past 6 years, our volunteers have regularly visited these children on the weekends to spend some quality time together.
I look forward to the weekends when the Tzu Chi volunteers visit, as they are especially exciting and filled with interesting activities to entertain the children.
During the festivities, the volunteers also take a moment to wish the founder of the Wellness Center a happy 80th birthday.
We wish you a happy birthday. This is a card on behalf of all of us. We wish you health and happiness throughout the years.
Working together, the two organizations are doing their part to pass on the love to those in need. In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to help celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday, along with other charity organizations and the less fortunate at the Foothill Unity Center in Monrovia, California. The center not only provided those struggling in life a traditional Thanksgiving meal, but also daily necessities for them to take home. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. See you next time.